Hey, what's up, guys? Back with you Saturday the 7th of March 2015, working on the van. So I got the majority of that wall painted and put up. A couple spots there I need to fill a hole or two. So what I ended up doing was, here's a picture of the piece that goes down on the end there. I took that same underlayment type board, 1/4 inch thick, roughly, and then a 2x2, and screwed it to the top of the rail, to the top of that wall. And here's a picture of the back side. I just used some of these screws that go in there and have a built-in washer on them to hold that board across the top to keep this thing from warping. And then I'm screwing through it into a board that I put up against the rail there, just below the windows. Painted the whole thing. Here's maybe a picture for you. You can see 1 inch polyiso, then the underlayment 1/4 inch piece of board, and then the 2 inch board. And the plan is, once I get that put up there, if there's any pockets or holes, see, this wall is not straight, but the board is pretty straight. I'm going to fill those pockets with, probably with just some bad insulation. Maybe just along the top, a couple inches deep, just to cover the gap. I don't want to get too much of that type of insulation in here, especially toward the windows, because that's where I'm going to get a lot of condensation, and I don't want that to fill with water and end up getting moldy. And then across the bottom, I put, here's one that's kind of in the sunlight. Maybe you can see it if I move this wire out of the way. There we go. Some plastic washers that I've made. I actually cut them out of the leftover pieces from that vent bezel or that vent trim. It's pretty stout plastic. And then I just drilled a hole in the center of it and cut it to fit. So that kind of gives it a more of a, spreads out the load for those screws so they don't pop through. I actually had one pop through. I'm going to have to fill it. Then I came up with this idea, and I don't mind the look of it. I'm not going to worry about painting those screw heads. That's going to be underneath, and then it's also going to be underneath a shelf that'll come across the top and stick out, I don't know, maybe 1 inch. That'll give me kind of a shelf there. And then ultimately, the space between this top piece of wood and this shelf, there's going to be blackout curtains on 2 wires or rails that will cover those windows. So that'll all be black with curtains, and then I can open them up and still use the windows, but also pull them shut to insulate and give privacy. And that's all insulated. I insulated the wheel well covers, and then I also put some of that same recycled jean type stuff across the bottom, all the way across the bottom, and then push that wall down on it pretty tight to kind of seal that gap. I don't know if that's necessary or not. I went around the wheel well with that as well, clear all the way up to the front. And then that section that's missing up there in the front, you can just see the foam on the back, and then that's going to get covered up, of course, with this piece I got right here. And yeah, I'm happy with it. I think it looks pretty cool. It's really difficult to try to figure out what to do with a van like this with the windows and how to cover those windows, or it has been for me anyway, trying to come up with an idea how I'm going to do that. So that's the plan. And then the wires for the solar come out right here. They're going to come out and come down, and then they'll go underneath the bed Actually, I don't know. I might put my solar controller right in here. Maybe they'll terminate right there. But then I still need to have wires coming from the solar controller to the batteries. And what I decided to do is I'm going to make a battery box and put the batteries on the passenger side of the van. My whole reasoning is they're pretty heavy and they're going to kind of offset some of the items that I'm going to put over here up in that corner on this side of the van. Or at least that's the idea. And they'll be here in the back of the van, and I'm going to build a box, a sealed box. I'm going to use lead acid batteries. And then at the top of the box, I'm going to run a vent right there out that side of the van through a grill thing that I'm going to put in there. And I really kind of struggled with, am I going to buy some AGMs and do that, which would have been easier. But I already have those 2 batteries that I retrieved out of my camper. So I'm going to put those 2 batteries in this van is the plan. They're 106 amp hours each, 12 volt deep cycle batteries. I'll wire in parallel, and I'll have 212 amp hours total, which I think is going to be enough to run the things that I want to run in here. So that's the plan. So after I get this piece mounted up there tomorrow, I'm going to start trying to work on building a box to go right here. I think I'm going to put the 2 batteries end to end and kind of leave space behind the box to where I can just put that jack and stuff back in behind it, and then it'll be right below where it's going to have a vent come out the top and go into the side of the van there. I really would prefer AGMs, but they're $250 a piece, at least for the ones I've been looking at, and that's for a 125 amp hour battery. I already have these brand new 12 volt batteries that are lead acid because they came out of that camper. So I'm going to make them work. That way, if down the road I end up replacing batteries, I'll already have it set up and I can go with a more economical battery, maybe some 6 volt Trojan T105s or something, which seem to be pretty popular with the people that are running solar and stuff. So that's the plan anyway. I know people are going to throw all kind of fits about me using lead acid batteries inside the van, but I think with the vent, I think it'll be just fine. I'm not too worried about it. Well, I'm worried about it to the point where I'm going to actually vent them. So anyway, if that makes sense. Alright guys, well that's all I have for now. I'll probably go ahead and wrap this video up and try to get at least this posted tonight for Saturday night, and then maybe tomorrow, if I get some more progress, I'll give you guys another video Sunday evening or something. Show you what I'm up to. But that's the plan, and that's what I'm doing. Eventually, after I get the box built, then I'm gonna do the same thing on this side, up to the back of those sliding door, or not sliding, but those side doors, right up to there, and I'm gonna run a white panel with a shelf, just like I'm doing on this side. And the same thing as far as window coverings, some blackout curtains or something is what I'm planning on doing, at least at this point in time. Alright YouTube, you guys all take care and take it easy. We'll talk to you later.